In what might be the best game of his career, Juraj Slafkovsky scores twice as he is turning into the sniper that I feel no one expected him to turn into this soon. Plus Nick Suzuki with a 3.9, Caufield on a 10-game point streak, Montembeault stonewalling the Capitals. We got a lot to talk about, plus a new article from Daily Faceoff outlining an interesting team that Jake Allen could be a very good fit for. All those rumors and more on this episode of Habs Digest. Jesse, we are just gonna get right into this. Juraj Slafkovsky. That's it. That's all we gotta say. And if you guys watch this game, you know what we're talking about. This was just phenomenal. As always, pause if you want to. Feel free to look at this box score. My goodness, we gotta start there, right? I mean, even though the Habs had an amazing start to the game, we'll get there later. Juraj Slafkovsky is the person we want to talk about. It's the one all the people want to talk about. 2 goals, and they were both absolute beauties.
No, that's it. Slapzilla was terrorizing the streets of Washington, being a bully out there, kind of, throwing his weight around, hustling on all areas of the ice, creating turnovers. He was involved on so many plays tonight, whether it was, kind of creating space for Xhekaj, creating turnovers on the Suzuki goal, him getting 2 goals himself. I think it was amazing. Tonight was just all about the young guns stepping up, with Sean Monahan being gone. Gallagher is still suspended for Lord knows how long. It's like we needed those young guys to kind of carry the torch and take what they learned from Mr. Monahan and put it into practice, right? So you have to feel like Marty's really proud of this effort tonight, because we want to start, this week after the bye week off with a strong start.
This is about as good of a start as you could ask for. The Capitals, I think their record's a lot better than their actual team. They looked terrible tonight, like straight up bad. But Montreal took advantage. And I just want to talk a bit about Slaf's goals. We don't have the clips here. Please go watch them. My goodness. The 4-on-4 goal where Evans drops it back to him. Slaf does a toe drag into a snapshot with a release point that I've only seen from like Caufield and some elite goal scorers. He had like no room to get that shot off. He had almost no room for a follow through, and it was a laser beam. And everyone was just kind of like, okay, what? Kemper had no chance. And then on the power play, Matheson actually gave him respect. He's starting to come around, Jesse. Matheson's starting to pass a bit more. He gave that pass in the 3rd period. Slaf winds up from the hash marks again. Just like, there's no stopping. That must have been 90 miles an hour off his stick, easily, off the post and in. Just like, I don't even know. These are 2 goals. Like, this goal scoring prowess, this touch, like, these were goal scorer goals. And I feel like we haven't really seen a whole lot of that from Slafkovsky. And to see 2 in a game in his first multi-goal game, like, I almost was just like shocked tonight. Like, where was this? Like, I knew he had it in him, but to see that come out all in one explosion of a game, I'm just like, I'm baffled. It's amazing.
Well, we have seen this in practice, where he's been working on getting those one-timers, right? That looked eerily exactly that same spot. Good things happen when Matheson passes the puck to Slaf pretty much every time. I think it's about 2 times that he's passed the puck to Slaf, and it's both ended up in goals so far. So hopefully that's a trend that continues there. But yeah, showing some great hands, again, finishing off those plays where we saw before, where sometimes he does the toe drag and then he kind of holds onto it for too long. You can tell he definitely has learned from that. Okay, I'm going to do the toe drag. I'm not going to hold on to it for too long. And that's what made it really so tricky for the goalie to stop, was kind of that quick toe drag. You don't know when he's going to shoot. It was such a quick release off of that. So you have to feel like that's going to be a move that he can definitely go to in the future for success. Maybe he did kind of learn that one from Caufield a little bit as well, but nice to see him getting that respect from his teammates as well, but this first line was really the difference of kind of carrying it, right? Suzuki with the 2 goals, obviously, Slapzilla with the 2 goals, but how about that first goal to Suzuki, that sauce pass from Caufield off of that turnover in the neutral zone? We were playing with such speed in that first period, right? Like, that was just such a skilled play. And again, speaking of one-timers, Suzuki had a great one there.
Yeah, it was a great play. Caufield, of course, extending his point streak to 10 games. I believe it's now 13 points in his last 10. Yeah, just a beauty. And Slav was streaking down the middle, too. Like, he could have got involved, but no need when Suzuki pots that beautiful pass. The Habs, like you said, were playing with speed right out the gate. They caught Washington flat-footed. Washington has a few older players on the team. Of course, they have Ovi. They got like Anthony Mantha, who I guess is maybe actually not that old, but they have a bunch of guys. But they don't have Backstrom or Kuznetsov right now. Of course, Kuznetsov, the player assistance, Backstrom, I believe, is injured. So it's a bit of a weird mishmash of players for Washington. But at the same time, Montreal was able to take advantage of a team that has just not been able to put it together, and they jumped on them. And it's not something we've seen a lot from the Habs, like, you looked at this roster coming in, this lineup, you're like, uh-oh. But then they came out 5 goals. Like, this is one of their best offensive performances of the season. And Suzuki, of course, with that first amazing one-timer. The second one, I don't even know what happened. He just got the puck, and it looked like Lindgren didn't know where he was, and just wide open net. Yeah, there's a lot going on positive there. Also, shout out Michael Pezzetta for a goal. Just love that he's still getting some minutes, getting his chance to do that. But a couple guys I want to talk about before we move on to the next thing, Jesse, just quickly. David Savard, again, making a save on Max Pacioretty, like just laying the body on the line with an open net behind him, making the save. He's done that more than once this year. And Monty, of course, as we flash this back up, another 947 save percentage game. That dude is just, he's really starting to, I think he wants to make his case for Team Canada. It sure seems like it.
100%. And I think he's earning his way to that conversation. Of course, he has represented Canada in the past and very successfully as well, winning a gold medal in his last time around there. So it's nice to see him kind of getting some of those accolades and slowly kind of gaining that respect. It's going to take some time, but if he continues playing the way that he did, like, again, you know, the big difference in a lot of tonight, for sure, getting that help from David Savard. But again, the saves that he made were just such tremendous quality, you know, at certain times. You know, I think he definitely loved having Arber Xhekaj back in the lineup as well, who I think was great tonight. You know, getting a look on the second power play, which you talked about, Josh, right? So nice to see that they're putting him an opportunity to succeed. You know, he kind of helped create a goal earlier in this game, hitting a post, you know, right onto Suzuki, Johnny in the spot to one-time it in. So he was an impact player in this game. So I'm really happy to see him getting the call over Harris in this game and really kind of making a mark on it.
Yeah, maybe not used as much as he would like, but he got his chances and he really looked very solid. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to so many things. I just can't wait to see the next game on Saturday to see what Slaf does next. This dude is his improvement level is out of this world. It's amazing to see. But we got some other stuff we got to talk about. And before we get into the next section of the video, are you guys enjoying? Are you enjoying this video so far? Hit subscribe because over 50% of you guys are not. And if you like this daily Habs content, game reactions, trades, rumors, everything, this is your spot for it. So if you're having a good time, hit that button. We'd love to see you back here. Let's talk a bit about Jake Allen and the Avalanche. Jesse, are a team that we haven't mentioned a whole lot, but as Daily Faceoff pointed out, they could be one of the best suitors. They kind of say, you know, they give a lot of info that we already know. Of course, Primeau has to clear waivers, that and that. They go on to say that, of course, looking at what DeSmith fetched, which was Tanner Pearson and a 2025 third, they think a second for Allen services could be a fair ask. I don't necessarily believe that, just because of Allen's 2-year commitment on his contract versus DeSmith's single year, and DeSmith has kind of historically had a bit better numbers than Allen, but regardless, he should demand something. But they go on to talk about the Avalanche and how badly they miss Pavel Francouz, who's out for the season, of course, and Georgiev has now gone up to starting over 80% of Colorado's games. And on the Frankly Speaking podcast with Frank Saravalli, Avs GM Chris McFarland said that Georgiev's workload was a major concern, as of course his save percentage has dropped to a career low 898 right now, and they need to trade for a backup, and they're tight against the cap, but the Habs have a retention spot. They can retain Jake Allen, so he's just making 1.925 for the next 2 seasons, and with his stats, that's really not that bad for a guy with his pedigree, Stanley Cup pedigree, right? We always mention that and how important that is. Yeah, his last few seasons haven't been as great, but they've been on a worse Montreal Canadiens team. I think with a good team in front of him, Jesse, he could be a really, really good, almost surprisingly good fit for Colorado.
And this is where he'd be in the best type of fit of where he's playing in the backup role. In the case of here with the Colorado Avalanche as a backup to Georgiev there. As we've shown, you know, Allen throughout his career, he's done very well as kind of that 1B type of guy. So that's where I see probably the best place for Allen to go. It's not a place where he's expected to be the savior, but a place where in the playoffs and, you know, very much leading up to that, being very much a relief guy for your starter and getting some very quality starts there. So again, another team where he wouldn't need to be the starter now is with the Edmonton Oilers, maybe where he could kind of fit in well as well, you know, kind of in that backup type of role there as well. Of course, we have the retention spot, which is going to help with this. But I mean, you know, if you're like the New Jersey Devils, maybe you just want to start from scratch. You're not getting good goaltending from your starter or your backup. Maybe you just want to get something. You feel like, okay, we have a good team, but our one real issue is our goaltending. Let's just address this in any way we can. And for me, that would kind of make sense. If I'm the GM of the New Jersey Devils, I'm looking to just address my goaltending in whatever type of way. But of course, I think the most, the best spots for both Allen and the club would probably be teams like the Colorado Avalanche and also the Edmonton Oilers as well.
I actually think New Jersey would be very interesting as well. And yeah, we talked about the Oilers. I think they mentioned the Kings as well. There's a bunch of teams, and maybe the Hurricanes, that could go for Allen. Again, the Avs are a bit tight against the cap, but I feel like they're a team that's probably not afraid to make one of those moves that just solidifies their roster moving forward. It's something they've kind of historically done, really, solidify their roster at the sake of giving up a young guy. I mean, just look at the Lehkonen and Barron trade, right? And Lehkonen helped them win a Stanley Cup. Love Lecky, great stick, right? And Justin Barron was a good return for Montreal. And so Colorado historically has done this kind of thing where they're like, yeah, I think adding this player at a reasonable price point that can bolster our roster and really make us a more solid team, it kind of fits the MO. New Jersey, I guess, well, they've been in a weird situation. They maybe don't have that same kind of pedigree, but we'll see, right? There's a lot of possibilities. And if you want to stay up to date on all that, stay tuned here at Habs Digest. We love to break down the latest news, rumors, reports, everything for you guys. But for now, that's going to do it. Shout out to Juraj Slafkovsky. Shout out to Slafzilla. We got a lot to talk about in the coming days, I'm sure, as well. But if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. We'd really love to see you back here. I've been your host, Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.